Count them. 7 straight victories. In a league where every inch is earned, every yard is a battle, and every win comes soaked in sweat and bruises, the Denver Broncos have stacked 7 in a row. That doesn't happen by accident. That doesn't happen by luck. That happens when a team believes in who they are. And yet, people are still doubting. Still disrespecting. Still acting like this team isn't for real. Some say the Broncos aren't built for the playoffs. Some say it won't hold up. But let me tell you something, that win was massive. And if you're still sleeping on the Broncos, you're about to wake up very uncomfortable. This team is tougher. Smarter. More disciplined. And they haven't even shown their full offensive potential yet. That should terrify the league. Before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. This community is built for real fans, passionate, loyal, and proud. Right now, the Denver Broncos are playing like the best team in the AFC, and you can make a real argument they're the best team in the entire NFL. Look at the standings. Look at the momentum. Look at the toughness this team brings every single week. From being counted out, to being right back in the fight. From last season's embarrassment, to this year's resurgence under Sean Payton, the turnaround is nothing short of remarkable. And yes, this latest win wasn't flashy. It wasn't perfect. But it was gritty. It was physical. It was a game where bodies were bruised, legs were heavy, and nobody was fully healthy after a short week. That's exactly the kind of game that builds champions. Thursday night football after traveling, after injuries, after facing a brutal defense, and then turning around to battle a division rival? Most teams crumble in that spot. The Broncos didn't. They fought. They survived. They won. And most importantly, they came out of that game healthy. No major injuries. No collapse. Just a statement. This is a team that is built to go far. This is a team with fire. This is a team with identity. And if you still don't think they're making a deep playoff run, you're not watching close enough. Thursday night games are chaos. They always have been. When teams get a full week of rest, preparation, and recovery, things look normal. But on a short week? The NFL becomes unpredictable. We've seen top-tier teams stumble, underdogs rise, and games twist in ways no one saw coming. Look around the league. The 49ers, playing without Brock Purdy, without Nick Bosa, without Fred Warner, and missing key contributors, still marched into Los Angeles as massive underdogs and won on the road. We've seen one of the worst rosters in the league nearly stun the Miami Dolphins, only for Tua Tagovailoa to throw a last-second interception that barely saved Buffalo. These games are messy. These games are emotional. These games are about survival more than style. And that's exactly what the Denver Broncos did. This was the first time in years that the Broncos took down a division rival in prime time. It breaks another streak. Sean Payton has been smashing old narratives one by one, ending losing stretches, restoring competitive pride, and putting Denver back where it belongs, in the fight for the AFC. This win mattered. Not because of the score, but because of the message: the Broncos can win tough games. Dirty games. Gritty games. Games where bodies hurt and nothing comes easy. That's playoff football. Now, let's talk about Bo Nix. The stat sheet won't tell the truth. 2 interceptions. 1 touchdown. That's what some people will see, and they'll use it to fuel their hate. But watch the game. One of those interceptions wasn't on him. The ball hit Troy Franklin right in the hands and bounced directly into a defender's arms. That's not bad quarterback play, that's a bad break. The narrative that Bo Nix isn't good enough is lazy. It's emotional. And it's wrong. This is the best quarterback play Denver has seen in a decade. Poise. Timing. Leadership. Composure under pressure. He's not just managing games, he's building something. And he's going to take this team exactly where it needs to go. As one Broncos analyst said perfectly, we're sitting near the top of the AFC, and we still haven't even played our best offensive football. Think about that. Even through mistakes, even through wind, fatigue, short rest, and chaos, this team found a way. The Broncos haven't peaked yet. They're still climbing. They're still improving. They're still sharpening every week. And when the offense finally clicks, the league is going to feel it. The conditions in that game were chaos. Wind swirling, kicks shifting in the air, punts floating like paper. It was unpredictable football. There were snaps that moved mid-flight. There were plays that never had a chance. That's the reality of a short-week divisional brawl. And even with all of that working against them, the Broncos didn't fold. They played without Marvin Mims Jr. for much of the night. They played stretches without Quinn Meinerz, one of the anchors of this offensive line. And on defense? They stepped onto the field without Patrick Surtain too, the best cornerback in the NFL, the kind of player who erases top receivers like they never existed. And the defense still went off. This unit is historic. Relentless. Physical. Violent in the trenches and ice-cold in the secondary. Look at how they locked down elite talent. Just a week after Brock Bowers lit up a playoff-caliber defense for 3 touchdowns, the Broncos held him to a single catch. This group isn't just good, it is special. They are on pace to challenge the NFL single-season sack record. This is the most sacks the Broncos have recorded through 10 games since 1990. That's not hype, that is history. And now? The Broncos get 10 full days of rest. 10 days for Surtain to get closer to returning. 10 days for Mims to clear concussion protocol. 10 days for the offensive line to heal. 10 days for Sean Payton to prepare for the biggest game of the season. Because next week, the Kansas City Chiefs come to town. This is a chance to deliver the hit that signals the end of a dynasty. A chance to plant a flag. A chance to send a message. The AFC West runs through Denver again. If someone told you before the season that the Broncos would be 8-2, hosting the Chiefs with the division on the line, you would have thought it was a dream. But it's real. And the schedule ahead? It's favorable. The Broncos still face the Commanders without Jaden Daniels. The Chargers with no stability up front. The Raiders again. And Kansas City, right in front of them. This isn't hype. This isn't blind fan hope. This is positioning. The Broncos are sitting in the perfect spot to make a deep playoff run. Sean Payton didn't just fix this team, he changed its identity. He restored belief. He restored culture. He brought back fight. And now? This team is dangerous. The throwback uniforms say it all. Every time the Broncos put them on, they play with swagger, confidence, and identity. 4-0 in the throwbacks. It feels right. It feels like Denver football. Maybe it's time those become the full-time look. But more importantly, this team is not just winning games. They are building belief. Heading into this matchup, expectations were cautious. Thursday nights are unpredictable, momentum is fragile, and the spread never tells the full story. But you don't define a contender by one game. You define them by the body of work. And right now? The Denver Broncos have more wins than anyone in the NFL. Both losses this season came down to razor-thin margins, one on a controversial leverage penalty, a call everyone across the national media openly questioned. The other on a field goal as time expired. In both of those games, the Broncos were toe-to-toe with their opponent until the final second. And both of those teams? There's a real chance Denver sees them again in January. And if that happens, I like our chances. Because this team has shown they can hang 44 points on a playoff roster. Drop 33 points in a single quarter when the fire hits. Hold elite offenses to 1 touchdown. And on 4 separate occasions, this defense has allowed 0 touchdowns in an entire game. That is championship football. This roster has toughness. This roster has identity. This roster has the best defense in the league, and a young quarterback who is growing, leading, and elevating every single week. We've stood by this team through everything, the highs, the heartbreaks, the rebuilds, the doubt. And now, we are watching something real take shape. This isn't hope. This isn't luck. This is the Denver Broncos fighting their way back into greatness. And when you have a defense like this, and a quarterback who believes, you don't just play in the postseason. You make a run. And like we always say, the ball doesn't lie.